Evelyn to Philip, February 11th, 1944. Darling Phil, today we had a small blizzard. I was supposed to go to Miss Hines this morning, but had no intentions of going out into a blizzard to do so. She rearranged her day so that I could go this afternoon instead. I've thought of something I'd like very much to have for our 3rd anniversary. A stripe. A repetition of our 2nd anniversary gift, if it's at all possible. I started the 2nd paragraph with Ruth's pen, or did you note the difference? While waiting for the bus, I met Mr. Weiss, formerly of the candy store at 7th and Loudon, and he asked me to send his regards. We chatted a short while about the Strongen boys. An oncoming car lost control and skidded all over 10th Street before regaining control. I borrowed a book from the neighbors, a bestseller, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. I hope to read it shortly. I understand it's very risque, with lots of descriptive language. Yeah, man. Now that I've got those few irrelevant subjects off my chest, lest I forget, I can relax. Still up to my old tricks, did you say? I'm used to getting mail regularly and miss your daily communique keenly. I find it difficult to write without a letter from you at my side. I was awake by Her Majesty several times last night. On second thought, I'd better not complain, for she did her ablutions, etc. in the bathroom instead of her bed. I arose at 7, dressed us both, gave us breakfast, cleaned our room, the dining room and living room, washed a few personal pieces, etc. Miss Hahn had saved her important work for me and was disappointed, to say the least. I made arrangements for Ruth to take care of Adele when she got home from school and worked from 1 to 5. Anne ordered the stationery I bought in blue with blue printing. Sarah took care, page 2, of Adele till Ruth came. Adele has acquired a mind of her own, and it's difficult to swerve her train of thought. She is determined, and when refused, takes a tantrum of sorts by laying down on the floor, rear raised and bawling for all she's worth. I pay no attention to her at these times. When such is the case, she looks to someone else for sympathy. Not so dumb, eh? She was over-elated to see me when I put her down, only to remove my outer clothes. She clung to me for fear I would go away. I'm surprised Miss Hahn had any use for me at this late date, and I'm sure she'll not need me again. Her business has slumped, and I'm only an overhead she really cannot afford at this time. Perhaps there will be 1 or 2 more occasions, though I doubt it. Hope that covers any illusions you may have had. Don't worry, sweet. I don't go out of my way to leave Adele. I hate to. There is another question. What are we supposed to do about our income tax? Is it all right for me to fill it out if I can? It's a complicated mess that I detest. Maybe poetry is my line. Mom is leery about receiving your allotment. I said she required approximately $60 to live, as previously I had written approximately $140 for her, Adele, and myself, if she should continue to receive the allotment, as she did last month, $37 from Jack and $20 from you. Where would Harry shine in from their standpoint? I stated our income as follows. Harry, $120. Goldie, I explained about her in the remarks. Mom, $20 from Jack plus $60 for Adele and me. The form asked your contribution to her. I merely put total earnings $120 and board, etc. $120, meaning that you contributed your entire income to. Page 3, the upkeep of the house and its occupants, for I do hope everything favors continuation of the allotment for her. I'm wondering whether or not Dottie will postpone her visit this Sunday due to the nasty weather. Mr. Weiss was telling me that Philadelphia will be the APO for all packages due for shipment overseas. Good old Philly is getting places, or is it? After talking to you a while, I get very lonesome. I want to cuddle up and feel you close. Oh God, please make it soon. I never cease wishing. That's about all I do these days. I love you looks good enough on paper, yet I want, as you do, to tell you or even show you. I'm not going to let you out of my sight for a second when I do get you back, sweet. Don't think me queer if I persist when you are home to keep you ever before my eyes, for I know I shall. I dreamt of you all night, or whenever Her Majesty permitted, and you were close, and I touched you. Yes, really touched you, and that feeling of deliciousness has kept me in a reverie all day long. Again, I repeat, I adore you, my sweet, more and more as the times between us grow. That is our compensation for our long wait, and who knows, someday we may be mighty grateful for all it taught us. A warm heart-given kiss from your Eb. Philip to Evelyn, V-mail, dated February 11th, 1944. My darling Chippy, today, just when I was more or less expecting a pile of mail, nothing. Come on tomorrow. Finished up on the payroll this afternoon. Tomorrow I'll take care of the officers' pay vouchers, and the most pressing business of the month will be completed. I mention this because I want you to know that I will be leaving for London on the 11th with a clear head and nothing on my conscience. Now, if both Eddie and Izzy will show up, everything will be hunky-dory. Nothing new to report tonight, sweet. Life is strangely uncomplicated around here, as I've told you repeatedly. When something out of the ordinary does happen, and there are incidents occasionally, we aren't permitted to talk about it. By the same token, the work we are doing, the very reason for our being here, is impossible of enlarging upon without risking the displeasure of the censors. Therefore, while I would very much like to tell you what our planes and our boys are doing, and they're doing okay, I have to settle for nondescript items of news, such as what I had for lunch, the unexciting routine of the orderly room, etc., etc. Someday, sweet, I'll be in a position to tell you some of the more interesting aspects of war, as she is fought in the ETO. Until then, I'm afraid you'll have to be content with my usual dull brand of blather. I always leave an inch or two at the bottom of the form to bid you a fond good night, and to remind you to give my love to the pumpkin, to the folks, to remember me to all our friends and neighbors, and finally that I am indubitably your Phil. Or had you noticed?